bend your life. Okay, once again, I think the set camera is good. And I'll bring up 10.
It's loud.
Yeah. I'll get you a power packet.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the National Women's Cricket League T20 New York Open 2025. This is the final day of the tournament. These are the semifinals. First semifinal today is the Atlanta War Eagles against the DC Titans. Talked a lot in the last couple of days about the weather conditions, so we've decided to make this a 15-over affair in an attempt to get it in before and ahead of the rain that is anticipated in the next few hours or so. But for right now, we have, ironically, bright sunny skies. And under these conditions, the DC Titans have won the toss and decided to have a bowl. First over in the books. Openers for the War Eagles are Disha Dhingra and Nick Ardoshi. And they put on 9 runs for the first over from Vice Captain Lekha Shetty. It is now the case that second over being bowled here by Anita Mohan to Nick Ardoshi. She was looking particularly aggressive today. A couple of runs here. And she is off to a fast start, Nick Ardoshi, and of course you don't need any invitations to Disha Dhingra to play aggressive shots. She has the 1-4 that has been struck in the match so far. Nick Ardoshi 3 from 4, Disha Dhingra 5 from 3. In fact, Nick Ardoshi is now after that double 5 from 5. So a run a ball for her. And then Disha Dhingra 5 from 3, a strike rate of 166. Not surprising that she has a strike rate of 166. Generally strikes it well, and certainly is somebody who you expect to keep the scoreboard ticking at the top of the order. Short, hammered just to the left of cover. And that has to go down as a catch. I believe that's the captain, Turnham Chopra. Remains to be seen if that's exactly who that is, but that certainly was a catchable ball. Yes, that was Turnham Chopra to her left. Struck with power, but you'd really expect her to take that. But that is a drop. You're moving on. It's a dot ball ultimately. 3 delivers into over number 2. Short, and works it into the leg side. Quick single. Mid-on fielder not able to prevent that single. So you're off to a relatively fast start here. Again, these are 15-over matches. At least the 2 semifinals are 15 overs. This matchup featuring the War Eagles and the DC Titans. And how we got here, DC Titans are at the top of their group. Group A, 3 wins, no losses. Hammered square. There's a sweeper on the boundary out there. They come back for the second run. So the DC Titans, top of their group, 3 wins, no losses. Tremendous net run rate, 2.16. And then the Atlanta War Eagles are second in their group, Group B. That is 3 wins and 1 loss for them. So those are the 2 teams here in the semifinals. Still working around the leg side. Big shout for leg before, but no chance of umpire Pandit Janke giving that one out. That is the end of over number 2. 2 overs in the books, 14 without loss. So 14 runs after 2 overs. Will be Lekha Shetty to continue. First over, she bowled, went for 9 runs. She's looking looking to bowl something that is a little bit more economical here. Still inside the power play. I believe the power play first 3 overs. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then they scroll down all the way on the side. The bars scroll down all the way down. There's a demo mode. Then the demo mode on.
What does it say?
Hold it from there. No, hold it from here. Hold it from here. Hold it from here. No, hold. That will be easier.
On the setup? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's it. I got it. Okay. All right. Done. Thanks. Bye. Okay, so welcome back to New York. Sorry about that brief interruption. And while we were away, big wicket of Disha Dingra, bowled by Lekha Shetty. So she is dismissed for 9 from 7 balls with 1-4. Short and hammered away by the new batter, that is Ritu Singh, and that is 4 runs. What an absolutely tremendous strike that one is. Oh, I'm sorry, that is Nikardoshi. So the new batter is going to be Habiba Badr. She's at the non-striker's end, but it is Nikardoshi who is still on strike. Just saw them take a wide there and an additional run because it got away from the keeper. So 2 wides are the first 2 wides in this over, but then this next delivery pounded away into the deep by Lekha Shetty, who is looking really good here. Out by Nikardoshi at the top of the order. 11 from 9, and that was her first boundary. 2 balls remaining here in over number 3. Very full and whipped the square leg. Good piece of fielding, and throw goes to the keeper's end. They will absolutely love picking up those singles because that is how you keep the scoreboard ticking. Now you do have the left-hand, right-hand combination with the left-handed Habiba Badr at the wicket, joining Nikardoshi at the fall of the first wicket. 24 runs on the board. 1 more ball remaining here in over number 3. Lekasheti, the vice captain, has already taken a wicket and looking to continue going in that direction here. To the captain, Habibu Badr, solid in defense. That is the end of over number 3. Scores 24 for 1. "24 for 1, 10 runs came from over number 3. 9 runs came from over number 1. So Lekasheti's 2 overs have gone for 19, but she has taken the big wicket of Disha Dingra. And it is now the bowler coming from the northern end of the ground. First ball fired down the leg side. I said the new bowler. She's actually the bowler who bowled the first over, or the second over rather. Now bowling over number 4, her second, Anahita Mohan. We're saying Lekasheti ended up being the bowler who took the wicket of Disha Dingra. What a great delivery. Very full, and it gets through Lekasheti. It also gets through the keeper, so I think you'll see a bye here. There's a signal from umpire Pandit Janki. So a bye is essentially what you have from the second delivery here. And they do get that run. You take runs in any form that you can get in this high-powered semi-final match. War Eagles and DC Titans. DC Titans, the top team in Group A, versus the second team in Group B, the Atlanta War Eagles. Lekasheti is a tremendous bowler, opens the bowling. She's a vice captain of the side. And I think that you will see her efforts here should be rewarded. Done very well. 5 runs, or 5 innings, 5 matches in which she's bowled 14 overs, 2 for 69 overall. Best bowling of 1 for 9. Economy rate of 4.93. So she's going at about double her regular economy rate in this match. But again, she has taken the big wicket of Disha Dingra. Radar a little bit off here for Anahita Mohan. So just the 6th extra so far, 5 wides and a bye. And once again, you're playing 15 over matches, so you expect that there will be a little bit of an acceleration, more fluidity to the scoring. And that's in the air, landing short of mid-on. Didn't want to go for that run because not landed short of mid-on. No real chance there of finding a catch. And that is actually the captain, the vice captain herself, Lekasheti, who's at mid-on. So lobbed in the air toward her, but no real chance of getting a catch. Made into the offside this time. Not exactly timed well here from the captain. Habibu Badr has batted well throughout the series. With the bat, she scored 108 runs, average of 54, high score of 82. Oh, goes past the outside edge, great line. And so 82 is what she got in the very first match of the tournament on Friday, so she hasn't done much with the bat since then. Remaining 4 games, remaining 3 games, she's only scored 26 runs. So you'd expect that she would be better, and maybe she's saving her best from the final, or for the semi-final. That is a dot that closes out over number 4. Good over, 3 runs coming from it. End of over number 4, 27 for 1. So 27 for 1 is your score. Four overs in the books. The power play is completed. I believe the power play was completed after 3 overs. And it is now going to be still a relatively aggressive field. 2 fielders in the deep. I may stand to be corrected on the number of power play overs, but we may still be in the power play. But in any event, fielders in the deep as we go to spin for the first time. Leg spin. Pull around the corner. That's going to run close to the boundary. Don't think it will have the legs to get there. We'll get a couple. That's all that they'll get. New bowler is going to have to pitch that ball up a little bit. You don't want to drop short. You lose the advantage as Brenda Ragavan is the one who's at the crease or at the taking up the bowling. Lose the advantage of being a leg spinner, bowling to right-hander. Ordinarily that ball spins away from the right-hander, but if you drop it that short, then that negates any advantage you'd have gotten with the spin. So she'll have to pitch that ball up just a little bit more. That's much better. Excellent delivery there. Played into the offside. Go for a quick single. Direct hit, and she is gone. Oh my goodness. Habiba Bader looking for a single. Really, the ball went straight into the covers. Taranum Chopra, the captain, from a 45-degree angle, hits the middle stump. So that is an excellent piece of fielding. And that is wicket number 2. Don't know that there was really a run there to be had, to be honest. Again, it went directly to the fielder herself, the captain, Taranum Chopra. And even at a 45-degree angle, she absolutely drilled middle stump and found Habiba Bader short of her crease. So that is the second wicket that goes down. 29 for 2 is your score. And honestly, the captain has no one to blame but herself for that one. Don't think that that was a run. And very frankly, I don't know that it was the captain's call. It should have been Nikardoshi's call, and I think the call should have been no, because it goes directly to the fielder in the covers. From that angle, I don't know that you're going to get a quick single there. You're essentially banking on the batter, or on the fielder missing the throw. And if she hits the throw, then essentially it becomes a very suicidal run. That's unfortunate for the Atlanta War Eagles. 29 for 2, as it is Ritu Singh, the leading batter by some distance for the team. Ritu Singh will go over her figures shortly. In fact, the very first match that she played in this tournament, scored a big 134 runs, and 160 runs total is what she's had for the tournament. Short, powered it away past mid-wicket, down to the boundary. There is a fielder on the leg side, so they just get 1 run for that. So Ritu Singh did the majority of her damage in that first match. 134 was her high score with 14 fours and 10 sixes. Tremendous striker of the ball. Again, not much since that. Remaining several balls, or several overs, several matches, my apologies, have only netted 26 runs. So you'll know that she will be looking to recreate some of the form that got her that big score. Looking to it right here in the semifinal between the War Eagles and the DC Titans. In the meantime, a couple more runs to Nikardoshi. This is played down to mid-off rather. We'll get a single to close out over number 5. Excellent over from Brenda Ragavan once she found the right line. The right length. 6 runs coming from it, and the wicket of Habiba Bader, who unfortunately was run out. That is the end of over number 5. The score is 33 for 2. Just wanted to take a minute to recognize the sponsors that we've had throughout this tournament. You don't get very many tournaments like this at this magnitude with so many different moving parts without the resources that you need. And the sponsors are SMK Global, your turnkey manufacturing partner on the East Coast. COVID IT, providing IT and workforce management solutions fundamental to the growth of any business. And DS360 Investment, building wealth, rebuilding cities. You heard from Sammy with DS Investments on the broadcast yesterday. So once again, we thank the entities just mentioned and the principals involved for being able to provide the resources for this tournament to go on the way that it has. And an exciting tournament it is, coming down to the last day here. Just looking to make sure, and there's a signal from umpire Irfan's side. So apparently the power play is after 5 overs and not 3, as I said earlier. My apologies. So 6 runs coming from over number 5, the last one of the power play, and it is now going to be more spin. It's going to be another leg spinner. Pulled into the deep by Nicardoshi. You'll get 1, they may get 2 here. In fact, they'll get that second one pretty easily. I don't know necessarily that you don't want to pitch that one up a little bit more. Adir Rawat is the bowler, and the length that you bowl here is going to be very important. Similar to what I mentioned when I talked about the length that Brinda Raghavan bowled in the very first ball of her spell. You lose the advantage of a leg spin if you're pitching it short. So that ball needs to be pitched up on off stump. It's not pitched up on off stump. That's short and pulled away into the deep. And that's another double for Nicardoshi, who's going along really well here. And so a couple of doubles to start over number 6. Nicardoshi now up to 21 from 17 balls faced. Ritu Singh just 1 from the 2 balls that she faced. Down the ground toward us here in the commentary area, but landing short of the fielder in the deep. Long off, just coming across and making sure that one doesn't go all the way down to the boundary. That's Sahiti Magula with a good piece of fielding. And now Ritu Singh is on strike. 3 deliveries into over number 6, 5 runs on the board in this over. Ritu Singh is a powerful striker of the ball, so she can change this game with 1 or 2 strokes. You're going to have to be very careful with her, particularly powerful down the ground. So your length is just going to have to be just short of driving length. That's an excellent length to bowl to her. They get a single. That's a good piece of fielding and a good piece of running also, because that's the type of delivery that you want to bowl to Ritu Singh to keep her quiet. But she still does get a single off of it. So good acknowledgement too from Nicardoshi at the non-strikers end to be able to get that opportunity for the run. That was her call, and she certainly took advantage of it there. So the scoreboard moves up by 1. A bit of a delay while the keeper is doing the work to tie the laces for Nicardoshi. Just a slight bit of a delay. Talked about the fact that it's going to be very rainy later on today. We anticipate that this window in where we are right now should provide us the opportunity to play this game. And then in theory, another shower of rains comes around 12 o'clock. And then after that shower is finished, we should have the opportunity to play the final later on. Which of these 2 teams will be in the final, we'll find out soon enough, as this is going to be another couple of runs played into the deep by Ritu Singh. By Nicardoshi, who now moves up to 24. It'll be interesting to see how she goes from here. Actually, that was in fact Ritu Singh. My apologies. Thrilled. Ooh, straight down the ground. That is out. Oh my goodness. How unfortunate is that? Struck right back to the bowler. That was in fact Nicardoshi who played that shot. Deflected off the arm of the bowler and onto the stumps and found Ritu Singh short of her crease. That is the most unfortunate way to be dismissed. So that is the second wicket to make that the 3rd wicket that goes down. The second run out. And if the first run out was probably due to ordinary running between the wickets, this one is just pure luck. Don't have that happen very often. And Ritu Singh absolutely devastated here, because that happens maybe once a season, and it happened to her here in the semifinals. So Ritu Singh has been run out Just 2 from 3 balls faced. The big hitter has been dismissed, and that is a body blow to the chances of the Atlanta War Eagles. So they'll be really upset at that one. Rita Singh just finding herself short of a crease, backing up a touch too far. You can't blame her for that. Don't always expect that ball to be struck right back at the bowler, then deflected off the bowler's hand onto the stumps. Obviously, if it goes directly onto the stumps from the bowler's arm or from the batter's bat without touching the bowler's arm, then it's inconsequential. It's still a live ball, but nothing in terms of whether or not it's a dismissal. But if it deflects off of the bowler's arm, then onto the stumps, then you need to regain your crease in order to not be dismissed. And she's going to be very upset here to Singh, but she's nothing you can do about it here. New batter tugged into the leg side. They'll get 1. The new batter is going to be Meghna Baisha. And your opportunity now is to find ways to manufacture runs other than big hitting, because probably the 2 biggest hitters in the side, Disha Dhingra and Ritu Singh, are both back in the pavilion. That is really unfortunate. This is tossed up, and now how much relies on the bat of Nick Ardoshin now, because she has looked really good, striking the ball well, a strike rate of 120, 24 from 21. Strike rate now 114 after that dot ball. Worked around the corner. They should get 1 here. But my goodness, that run out just took the wind out of the sails of the War Eagles' efforts. And a lot now depends on Nikardoshi, who's now starting over with a new partner. She opened the batting, Nikardoshi, and is now being made to bat along with the middle order, Meghna Baisya. Tossed up, drilled down the ground. Does that carry? Ooh, just lands short of mid-on. They get 1 run. Good solid strike. Meghna Baisya is one of the players who maybe not quite the caliber of Ritu Singh and Disha Dhingra in terms of big hitting, but she can hit the ball hard. Saw some evidence of it there, and your opportunities to score runs, I think, are going to be dependent to a large extent on these 2. Sweep shots, backward square leg in position. Do they look for 2? They do come back for 2, and the throw comes to the non-striker's end, but that's an easy 2. So good running between the wickets for these 2, and the lesson there is that you can score runs in 2 different ways. You can score them running between the wickets quickly, or you can hit big, and really one is not necessarily a substitute for the other. Oh, drill down the ground straight. That is a good-looking shot. Is it straight enough? It is straight enough, and it goes away for 4. So Nikardoshi using the feet that time, coming down the track, and meeting that one on the half volley, sending it straight as an arrow toward the side screen for her second boundary. So 29 from 23 is what Nikardoshi has with 2 4s at the end of over number 7. The score is 50 for 3. $50 up. Bigger story here for the Atlanta War Eagles, though, is that they've lost 3 big wickets. And the 3 big wickets that they've lost constitute a pretty significant part of their batting lineup. In fact, the leading batters for the season or for the tournament, 1, 2, and 3 are Ritu Singh, Disha Dhingra, and Habiba Batter, and all 3 have been dismissed. So you're going to have to rely on the other batters to do the work for you Nicardoshi is the 6th leading batter. Came into this match with 23 runs for the tournament, so she's already vastly exceeded that. You get the sense that she's going to be asked to do much more than what she's already done, given the fact that you've lost the 3 big wickets that you have. Tossed up, smoke towards the deep. That's going to go to the boundary and get there now. 4 runs. So yes, a lot depends on Nicardoshi, and she appears to be taking advantage. In fact, that was Meghna Baisia who played that shot. My apologies. So a lot depends on this pair, but certainly Nicardoshi, I would think, would be the one who you'd want the majority of those runs from. Coming into this game, Meghna Baisia had 12 runs for the tournament in 2 innings. So nothing to write home about there, but a lot depends on her, not only to stick with Nicardoshi, but to score runs herself. So let's see a single here, combined with the 4 that you've had from the second ball of the over. Bearing in mind this is a 15-over match, so you're going to want to push on in a way that allows you to get to a target of somewhere around, you'd think, 100 or so. Ooh, field for leg before. I believe that pitched outside the line of leg stump. The leg spinner is bowling well, but of course the ball is pitching outside the line of leg stump, then it does not matter. It cannot be adjudged the LBW. But that line, even though just a little too straight for me, the length was much better than in previous deliveries. So an off or leg spinner would want to land the ball right on off stump in that area, but that's a good stroke. Played into the deep, they'll get a single. What I started saying is that the line would be an off stump line. That's where you'd be looking to bowl as a leg spinner. But you'd also want it to be full enough that they cannot play that cross-batted shot. Want to take away the opportunity to drive. A bit of conversation about whether or not it is appropriate for the coach to come onto the field. I think the umpires are going to be very aware of any, let's call it, time-wasting opportunities, because you're on a really short leash here with regard to the timing. Again, rain expected to come later on. That is the end of over number 9. Make that over number 8. At the end of 8, the score is 58 for 3. And it appears as though we'll have a short water break. We'll take the break along with the players. We'll be back for the remainder of this first innings in the first semifinal between the Atlanta War Eagles, the DC Titans putting the War Eagles into bat. And the War Eagles are 58 for 3. So just about past the halfway stage of a 15 over match, or 15 over innings. 8 overs in the books, 58 for 3 is your score, scoring at the rate of 7.25 and over. 7.25 and over. Projects to score for 109. Earlier I said that 109 would be, or 100 plus would be what they'd be looking for. With this partnership, which is now building, it's tied for the second, in fact, tied for the largest partnership in the innings with the first wicket partnership, but now they're looking to see how they can push on. This pair, you suspect, would be responsible for getting the majority of the runs that are delivered by the War Eagles. Once again, the top order, and not just the top order, but the leading 3 batters in the side for the tournament have all been dismissed. Oh my goodness! Absolutely goes across the line, playing to square leg Nicardoshi on a ball that she would have wanted to be on the front foot for, and that is an absolute body blow. First ball out of the water break, probably a lapse in concentration there, because that ball was full enough and straight enough that you don't want to go across the line. You want to play that one down the ground, choosing not to, and simply just missing a straight ball. When you miss a straight ball like that, playing that type of shot, unfortunately that's the result. So she's dismissed. Nicardoshi 32 from 26 with 2 fours, and this opens things up in a tremendous way for the Titans, you would think. So Meghna Baisha now becomes the senior partner, 8 from 6. And the new batter is going to be Rithvika Carey. Rithvika Carey facing up to Taranum Chopra. The captain herself is the one who brought herself on and struck gold with the very first delivery that she bowled. And I think that you will see now that you might find a bit of trepidation among the Atlanta War Eagles, because this is the type of situation that you really would have trouble extricating yourself from. The very first delivery, as I mentioned, was struck, she attempted to strike it into the square leg area. She really would have been playing straight on. Appeal for a leg before, not given. The throw scrambled. They come through for us, in fact, for a single, because there is no signal for leg by from umpire Irfan Syed. So I believe that this one would have come off of the bat onto the pad. That's why it's a single. But the wind very much taken out of the sails here of the Atlanta War Eagles. Played into the offside. No chance for a single there. And when, in fact, the umpires just signaled 2 runs, or 2 balls remaining. I thought it was 1. We'll keep an eye on that as we get into, or deeper into the second half, if you will, of this innings. 4 big wickets are down. This is played into the deep, mid-wicket in the position to cut that one off. And in fact, they only get 1 run for it. So that's a good piece of work in the deep. Last ball, in fact, it is now coming up for Taranum Chopra. #61 runs on the board. Tossed up, full toss. Played into the mid-wicket area and goes away for 4, I believe. Yep, just beats the fielder at mid-wicket for 4. So a loose delivery for the last one for Taranum Chopra. 10 runs, make that 7 runs coming from the over. And at the end of a successful over, another one for the DC Titans. Atlanta War Eagles is 65 for 4. 65 for 4. 9 overs bowled. So the last 6 coming up. And leading batters for the day or for the tournament all been dismissed. 1, 2, and 3. And then the 6th leading batter for the side, Nikardoshi, was dismissed of the very first ball after the water break. And so now you know that things are going to be a little bit difficult. Some nail-biting time for War Eagles. Good looking shot, played just beside or to the right of extra cover. Get a single here, but all they'll get is that one single, as this is going to be new bowler coming in from the northern end of the ground. Adia Rawat is the bowler. This is pulled just past mid wicket. Adia Rawat is going to be bowling her last over. In a 15 over match, each bowler is limited to 3 overs, so this is her final over. Adia Rawat done well enough. Over 6 and 8 of the first 2 that she bowled. Over number 6 went for 8 runs and she took a wicket. Over number 8 went for 8 runs. So we're going at 7 and over. 7 and over, having taken a wicket, is actually a good piece of work on her part. In the meantime, just a couple of signals. The big hitting for the most part has gone away here. And it's going to be up to Ritvika Kari and Meghna Baishya to be able to recreate some of that momentum that you saw in the Kardoshi and the rest of the top order were batting. But this is good fielding so far. Dot ball here for the 4th ball of the over, so you're almost at the 2/3 stage of the innings. 6 to 8 runs on the board. Your projection from here is 108. So I don't know that you can push on beyond that, but that current scoring rate dictates that that's around where you'd end up. Sweep shot is off of the boot, so that does not go anywhere. And another couple of dots. 3 runs from over number 10, so the pressure is now building. The run rate is down under 7, 6.92. Tossed up, down the ground. This is catchable, and it is taken. What a big catch. Well judged by Leka Shetty, and absolutely takes it cleanly. And that is wicket number 5. You're 2/3 of the way through the innings. 10 overs done out of 15, but that is yet another body blow for the Atlanta War Eagles. The DC Titans are tightening the screws. Score is 68 for 5. So 68 for 5 after 10. The scoring rate is 6.8. We can all do that math. But the 5 wickets down will be a tremendous concern to the Atlanta War Eagles. The new batter is going to be Ashika Chiratananda. My apologies, Ashika. I've messed up your name the entire weekend. Chiratana Gandla, I believe I said properly that time. But anyway, Ashika is now at the crease. She's at the non-striker's end because that last ball was the final ball of the 10th over. Tyrone Chopper back into the attack. First delivery is played down to long on for a single. So this pair absolutely having some work to do now. Lost a lot of wickets. And I don't know that your concern is with being bowled out. I don't know that you'll get bowled out with 30 balls left, but you certainly would have lost a lot of momentum. And the DC Titans bat very well at the top of the order, not the least of which is the batting that you'd expect from Tandem Chopper herself, the captain, and the bowler who's currently in operation. This one turns down the leg side though, and it goes for the wide. That is extra number 7 on the day. So for the most part, the bowling has been disciplined. A couple of rough spots here and there where you've gotten a few loose deliveries, and whether by line or by length, it's been a little bit less than ideal, but for the most part they've been where they want to be. I'm going around the wicket, trying to chopper and play it into the offside here. No run. Last 28 balls coming up. In this 28 balls, at minimum you'd want to get somewhere around 35 runs, I would think. 35 runs gets you 205. 105 is a fighting target. Anything less than that, I think you'd struggle, because again, the DC Titans bat very well at the top of the order. In fact, it might not be a bad idea to see what they've done with the bat so far. Almost an instant replay there as the action from around the wicket, bowling to Ashika. She's able to only punch it into the covers for no run. So they've tightened the screws. 4 inside the circle on the offside. Nowhere to play a shot there. Just looking to squeeze out the opportunity for any singles. A very aggressive field set here by the captain. Tossed up. And this is going to be down the ground to mid-off. A little bit of an awkward throw that time, and the ball slips out of her hand. The fielder coming in from mid-off. But do get more and more difficult as you go through the remainder of this innings, or this over rather. Tandem Chopper now bowling over number 11. Here is what you're looking at now. The last 2 balls coming up, I believe, in this over. Into the offside, they'll get a single here. So they were very aggressive with their field settings a second ago, very close in stopping the single, but they did just back off a little bit, and that provided the opportunity for a single here with covers. So while we wait for the scoreboard to refresh, I believe this is one. In fact, yep. 1 ball remaining here in over number 11, and no run taken there off that last ball. So just 4 runs coming from the over. End of over number 11, score 72 for 5. Talked about the batting for the DC Titans, and they are a really strong batting side, led from the top, as I mentioned, by their captain, Tandem Chopper. They've really excelled at the top of the order. Look at their batting figures shortly. In fact, Tandem Chopper, 173 runs for the tournament, average of 58, strike rate of 122. Anahita Mohan is the second leading batter, but the gap between the leading batter and the second leading batter is humongous. Tandem Chopra 173 runs, Anahita Mohan 41 runs. So clearly the strength of the batting side depends to a very large extent on their captain. We'll see exactly how well they can do when they do come to bat. Field for a catch, not given. umpire Irfan Syed, who actually umpired Pandit Janki, who believes that that ball would have missed the edge of the bat, so it just goes as allowed that ball. Down now to the last 23 balls. 23 balls, and you need somewhere around 33, 34 runs, I would think. Off the back foot, this will help. Running down toward the deep point boundary, make that the deep third boundary. They'll come back for a couple of runs. Good looking shot. And there's Ritika Kari, who plays that shot off the back foot and gets it away. Not a bad looking shot at all. You need a lot more than those, a lot more of those. And just ones and twos would be the way to go from here. You would think. Had 22 singles on the day so far, and you've also had 11 twos. That's hammered, but straight to the sweeper and the deep. Probably only gets one here. And more to the point in terms of how they're doing with the dismissal of the big hitters. 28 dot balls, so that is 42% of all the runs, of all the delivers that have been bowled, have been dots. And so, of course, a dot ball is a delivery that you do not score off of, so that makes it difficult to keep the scoreboard ticking if you're not able to run those ones and twos. They're full, just past the outside edge. Another pleading for a wicket not given. By the way, this is Anita Mohan who's back into the attack. This is her last over. Anita Mohan so far 2.3 overs, none for 7. Continue to apply the pressure here, the BC Titans, strengthening up that offside inside the circle. What a great delivery. This goes past the outside edge again, and this is just really good bowling. All of a sudden, the runs have dried up for the Atlanta War Eagles. The last 5 overs, to include the one that we're currently in, they've only scored 24 runs. So an economy rate or a scoring rate of less than 5 is not going to be very beneficial for you if you're looking to accelerate toward the back end of the innings. 2 runs coming from that over. An excellent one bowled by Anahita Mohan. Excellent stuff from her. Make that 3 runs coming from the over. My apologies. And the end of over number 12. 3 last 3 coming. The score is 75 for 5. Five for 5. Tossed up. Good looking stroke down the ground. But it will only net them 1 run. As this is, I believe, Brenda Raghavan who's bowling her last over. We'll confirm that shortly. We're now to the point where you're running out of opportunities to get runs on the board. Tossed up. Oh my goodness, appeal for stumping and given. A swipe across the line from Ashika and not able to keep that back foot inside the crease. Umpire Pandit Janki thinks that that back foot was lifted, and that is wicket number 6. This becomes a really difficult time for the Atlanta War Eagles because 6 wickets are now down, and essentially you're now asking the bottom of the order to accelerate for you, and that doesn't necessarily augur well if you're looking to push on from here. So the partnerships, they've not been able to build many partnerships. First wicket partnership was 17, and this is in fact Brenda Raghavan who's bowling. First wicket partnership 17, second wicket partnership was 12, third wicket partnership was also 12, fourth wicket partnership 17, fifth wicket partnership 10, 6th wicket partnership 8. So nothing of note has been built, and your issues there become more pronounced. By the way, it is actually 77, so the 6th wicket partnership was worth 9, but in any event, you're running out of opportunities to accelerate. The bottom of the order is going to have a hard time doing exactly that. So your options now really are to just look for ways to run singles. Again, going across the line, again missing out on the attempted sweep, where the new batter is going to be Darshana Karthik. Faced a couple of deliveries so far, has not been able to put bat to ball yet. And once again, the DC Titans continuing to turn the screws. Tossed up, using the feet. Is it going to be a stumping? Gone. Oh my goodness. Looking to run down the track, missing the ball, and another stumping. 2 stumpings in the over. And she here is working on a brilliant last over, Brinda Raghavan, into her last over, 13th of the innings. And all of a sudden, I said earlier, I don't know that you'd be concerned about being bowled out. Very frankly, at this point, you may need to be concerned about being bowled out, because that's exactly the direction in which this is headed. So wanting to see exactly where this goes, but my goodness, I would think that you'd want to attempt to protect the stumps and bat all the way through. I don't know that running down the track on the third ball that you faced to a champion leg spinner is the best option. And by the way, earlier I'd said 76. It was actually 77, or 77. It was actually 76. So we'll monitor that as we go along. But the bigger picture is that you're struggling to put back to ball, and the DC Titans are turning the screws. New batter in, Aisha Singh looks for the huge swipe. What happens here? Wanting to see what happened there, celebrating, wanting to know what happened. The umpires may talk about it. To the naked eye, it looked as though it deflected off of the batter onto the keeper and then onto the stumps. So I think that's what happened, and we're having a conversation here between umpire Irfan Syed and the fielding side. Again, we are 65 yards away, so it looks as though she was dismissed. So in fact, it might have deflected off of her body onto the stumps. So look at this. This is wicket number 3 in the over, if you can believe that. Not sure about the exact mode of dismissal. I would think it is either bowled or hit wicket. Maybe bowled, but we'll see exactly what it is. But certainly 8 wickets are now down, and we'll confirm as soon as we get the information from the score card when it does refresh. And it does show that Aisha Singh was bowled first ball, so it deflected off of her body onto the stumps. And that is an absolutely tremendous over bowled here by Brinda Raghavan for her last. All of 1 run scored in that over, and she took 3 wickets. You cannot bowl a better over than that. And in fact, Brinda Raghavan is the leading bowler for the DC Titans. Before this match, she'd taken 6 wickets in the tournament at an average of 8.6 and economy rate of 3.4. You cannot get better figures than those. And of course, she will certainly add to that here. So now into over number 14. Right back to the bowler, caught and bowled. A team hat trick. Struck firmly, but right back at her head height. She pouches it with glee, and that is wicket number 9, the 3rd consecutive delivery where a wicket has fallen. That's why I'm referring to it as a team hat trick. And oh my goodness, this has gone all pear-shaped for the Atlanta War Eagles. 76 for 9. Tarnum Chopra bowling her last over. And this is tremendous bowling. Tremendous spin bowling by the DC Titans. And the runs have absolutely dried up. And not only have the runs dried up, but wickets are falling all over the place. One run came from over number 13 and 3 wickets. 3 runs came from over number 12. 4 from over number 11. 3 from over number 10. So just absolute chaos here with the bat for the Atlanta War Eagles as they're unable to put together any sort of resistance. And this is now the last pair that is in. Tossed up. Ooh, looks to flirt outside the off stump. This is Deepanjali Pakala. Can't get any bat on that, but boy, so much has happened in the last several deliveries that we're having trouble keeping up. But the big picture is that 76 for 9 is your score. Tarnum Chopra going around the wicket to try to create the angle that might find the outside edge, maybe go to backward point. Tossed up. And this is going to be a quick single taken. Get the single, but they'll need a whole lot more than that. The last 3 balls here coming up in a Tarnum Chopra spell. This is excellent stuff from the DC Titans, and you cannot do it any better than that. Talked about Brinda Raghavan. Her figures are absolutely stunning. Before this match, she came in with 6 wickets, as I said earlier, an average of 8.67. Quick single here, direct hit, and gone! Oh my goodness, an underhanded throw from the covers. Underhanded throw finds the edge or finds the off stump, and that is all the wickets that have fallen. And yet another run out. 3 run outs in the innings, and all of a sudden the DC Titans have taken absolute control of this game. So we'll get back to what I was saying about Brinda Raghavan shortly, but the full scorecard I think tells a very sad story. If you are a fan of the Atlanta War Eagles, Disha Dhingra 9 from 7. Nikardoshi top scoring 32 from 27. Habiba Badr did not trouble the scorers. Ritu Singh 2 from 3. Meghna Baisya 14 from 12. Ritvika Kari 10 from 12. But after that, essentially binary numbers, binary scores the rest of the way. Ashika 1. Darshana Karthik 0. Ayushi Singh 0. Surbi Vyas 0. And Deepanjali Pakala 1. So that does not make for good reading if you are a fan of the Atlanta War Eagles. 7-7 all out in 13 overs and 4 balls. Absolute chaos for the batting lineup. A team that came in probably as the most star-studded batting lineup in the tournament, but they would have done decently well if the Titans were able to keep them somewhere around 120, 130. But they absolutely did so much better than that. 7-7 all out, which means that after a short break, we'll see whether or not the Titans can overhaul that target of 7-8. We'll go silent here for the moment. Come back shortly for the chase. See you soon.
See. Move table down a little bit. This side. Move table slightly that side.
Sure.
Yeah. And then we adjust the camera.
Yeah. Ready?
That's good.
Good. Oh, camera's right there. Maybe angled down at all.
Yeah. I think not from there, but I can raise this.
Okay.
No, here is the leg.
Oh yeah.
Tell me. It's much-
Down, a little right there. Yeah, much better. Yeah, that's good. So back here at the New York Oval, and the Atlanta War Eagles have their hands full trying to save this match. Dipanjala Pakala will be the bowler with the new ball in hand, attempting to make sure that the batters for the DC Titans, specifically Turnham, Chopra, can essentially be neutralized, but as of right now, you'd have to think that the advantage would be with the DC Titans. Tandem Chopra and Sanvi Sud are your two batters. And off to a good start here for the first delivery. You're only looking at 7 to 8 runs for victory. 7 to 8 runs at a scoring rate of 5.26. Get through or into the offside as the captain Habiba batter. A couple of dots. So the interesting part here is that you sort of have to be aware of where the batters are most likely to go. Tandem Chopra herself is strong down the ground and to the leg side. So that is where the protection is in the deep. That is Ritu Singh down the leg side. This delivery goes for the first wide. As I started saying, Ritu Singh is down at long on, and on the boundary on the mid-wicket fence is Ayushi Singh. Everyone else, of course, inside the circle, inside the power play. The first 5 overs are the power play overs. Seen a wide, and that is the only run so far, as everything else has been bang on target here from Dipanjala Pakala. 15 over match, so down to 87 balls in which to get 77 runs. In the offside, still no opportunity for a run there. Tandem Chopra is a tremendous cricketer, and she will know that you sort of have to gauge your runs. You're not chasing 178, you're chasing 78. So you don't need to try to get them all in one fell swoop. And even the maiden at this stage would not bother Tandem Chopra much. This is squeezed off the outside edge though, so no maiden. It's off of the outer edge of the bat, and they'll get 2 runs down to deep third. Tandem Chopra opens her account. Once again, the leading batter in the side. And the leading batter in the side by some distance. More than 100 runs clear of the second leading batter. We'll go through the specific figures in a minute. Hit to the backward point area, directly to that fielder in the backward point area, no run. To dots to close out over number 1. 3 runs coming from it. 3 without loss. So back to what I was saying about Tandem Chopra. 173 runs coming into this match. The next leading batter, Anahita Mohan, 41. That tells you something about the gap between the two. Sanvi Sood is the 6th leading batter in the side, who is now going to be on strike. She has 29 runs for the tournament from 22 balls, with an average that's not much to write home about, 9.67. But the highest strike rate, make that the 2nd highest strike rate in the side. Sanvi Sood with a strike rate of 132. So that puts you in a really good position. You have the highest run score aggregate wise, and then the player with the 2nd highest strike rate opening the batting. That puts you in a good spot, and it's now just going to be up to you to take advantage of what you can get from both of these players. 75 runs needed in the next 84 balls. And if you had a win predictor, you probably have it around 63-64% toward the DC Titans at this point. But a long way to go. It's going to be Disha Dhingra. Solid in defense here. First delivery is bang on target from Disha Dhingra. So you're going to have to bowl out of your skin to win this match. And to the extent that you have the talent to do that, talk about Disha Dhingra, a really good bowler. Okay, my apologies. It's not Disha Dhingra. That is Darshna Karthik. Darshna Karthik bowling the 2nd over of the innings. But in any event, the point, I think the larger point still stands that the bowling side for the Atlanta War Eagles is a very good one. And to the extent that you can marshal your resources have good pace bowlers, have good spinners. The leading spinner on the side is probably Ritu Singh. Dipanjali Pakala is the leading bowler in terms of number of wickets. This is played into the offside, and they'll get a single underhanded throw to direct hit, and gone. Oh, how big a wicket is this? A direct hit, and scrambling to get back to the opposite end is Taranam Chopra, and she is run. It's Sanvi Sood, my apologies, who's run out, and that is a body blow. Now, that is run out number 4 on the day. One of them was absolutely fortuitous, that was Ritu Singh, but the other 3, for me, indicate some amount of nervousness running between the wickets because of the fact that you're in the semifinals of this tournament. And so my sense is that these players really just need to understand the situation and don't take any chances. You're taking chances, and essentially you're hoping that the batters are not or the fielders are not going to hit the stumps directly. But a number of direct hits already, 3 of them from my unofficial recollection, and that puts you in the position of essentially sacrificing your wickets. And when you do that, really you have no one to blame but yourself. So, big wicket that one. Sanvisu dismissed 1 from 2. Taranam Chopra still there at the non-strikers end, 2 from 6. And the new batter is in now. Wait to see who this is. But really difficult time here. You don't want to get run out. Don't want to help the opposition to sort of get on top of you. And that's essentially what you've done so far here. Very full, and that's a wide signaled here by umpire Irfan Syed. So Adir Rawat is the new batter. Adir Rawat joining her captain Taranam Chopra. Good delivery, tapping it into the leg side. Quick single. Ooh, diving attempt there by Taranam Chopra. She just does get in. But to her credit, she was the one who called for it. It was her call, and immediately taking off and showing her teammates how it's done. You need to call early and be committed, fully committed to the run. Some of that you really haven't seen that much from. Couple of more opportunities here, but you want to make sure that you take advantage of any running opportunities that you can get. So you've had a wide after the run out, and then you had a single and then a dot. So this is the last ball coming up in over number 2. Laid into the covers and through the fielder in the covers. They'll get a couple of runs here. Taranam Chopra hits the ball really sweetly, times it sweetly. And my goodness, that went all the way for 4. So the fielder's short cover really would have wanted to stop that. I believe that's Disha Dhingra in the covers. And it really should have been stopped. National player, you expect her to make that stop, but it gets past her and goes away for 4. So good end to the over for the DC Titans despite the loss of the wicket. 7 runs coming from it. End up over 2, 10 for 1. Start looking through your options for bowlers. Atlanta War Eagles, the leading bowler is Dipanjali Pakala. She will be here now bowling her second over. Prithvi Kakari is the second best bowler, 3 wickets on the tournament. Ayushi Singh and Ritu Singh also with 3 wickets. Ritu Singh, I would think, would be a very important person in terms of the bowlers if you're looking to restrict the scoring. National team player, all-rounder, high caliber, And you're looking to make sure that those types of players are the ones who stand up and be counted. Look out, run out opportunity here. Oh, both of the batters were at the same end, at the striker's end, with some confusion and not a clean pickup. And had that been a clean pickup, I believe that's Ashika at backward square leg, who didn't pick that one up cleanly. That for all money would have been gone because both batters were at the same end. So more evidence there of maybe a bit of nervousness with these two batters, wanting to make sure that they get the radar right, because you don't want to put yourself in a position of having another run out. So a couple of dot balls is what you have to start over number 3. Deepanjali Pakala into her second over, the third of the innings. I'm just talking about her bowling here in a minute. I talked about the fact that she is the best bowler statistically on the season, or at least for the tournament. In 6 matches, 13 overs, conceded 71 runs, but taken 4 wickets. And in those 4 wickets, best of 3 for 19. Average of 17 is a decent average, but ooh, look at that shot by Taranam Chopper. That is cheeky. Played off the outside edge intentionally, running down to that deep third area for a couple. But back to the point about Deepanjali Pakala. 17 of an average is not a bad one, but what's more impressive to me is the economy rate of less than a run a ball, 5.46. So if you have an economy rate of a run a ball, you win this match. Please, starting in the innings, worked into the leg side here, and you certainly have a long way to go, but that little bit of nervousness that you saw, I think, can be reduced if you have a couple of good overs like the ones that you just had. So that is the end of over number 3. The score is 14 for 1. $13 for 1 is the score. 3 overs in the books. More nervous running, and a direct hit there also would have been interesting, but they'll get there. So now you're looking at the next 71 balls to score 61 runs. Your required rate is 5.41. That required rate is not necessarily very difficult, but if you're not careful, look at that, gone! Struck directly to short, mid-wicket, firmly off the bat, but directly to short mid-wicket. That is the end of Adir Rawat. 1 from 4 is what she has to show for her efforts in the middle, and that is wicket number 2. My goodness, so this game is by no means over, and again, a run a ball wins you this match, but the one way you can lose this match is by losing regular wickets. And that's what you've had here. The captain, Taranam Chopper, is still in the middle, and she will be telling the incoming batter, do not take any chances. Keep it on the ground, pick up singles, punish the bad ball. That really should be the name of the game. But from here, nerves start playing a part. Overcast, it's cloudy. Earlier it was sunny. Clouds are starting to sneak in, as I mentioned. You're going to expect rain later on this afternoon, possibly as early as noon. We're probably maybe an hour to an hour and a half away from that. But in theory, you could get this game in without much fuss. But the next issue there is that if you lose wickets, then that makes it all for naught. New batter is in. This is going to be announced as soon as possible, as soon as we have it. So Sahiti Magula is your new batter. And Darsh Now Karthik is continuing a really good spell. Paired at the top of the order with Deepanjali Pakala rather. In the air, just clearing mid-off, or mid-on rather, and down to long on. So we'll get a single here. All of a sudden this game has taken on a bit of a different feel. We're looking right now upwards of 5 and over. So still less than a run a ball. What a great delivery that is. Yorker length played to mid-off, no run. But if you're looking upwards at a 5.5 and over, you just have to tell yourself that you're dealing still with less than a run a ball, and normal everyday cricket gets you the victory. It's really, really important to be telling yourself. In the air, oh my goodness, put down to the same fielder at short mid-wicket, clipped directly to her in her lap, fumbles it and grasses it. How big a moment is that going to be in the context of this game? 16 for 2 after 4. To my left, there are two people. One who is as partisan as they come, Mr. Ranjit Singh, who you probably heard cheering when the last wicket fell. The other to my left is, she wears many titles. Wears many hats, has many titles is what I meant. Not the least of which is coffee person, because she just brought me a delicious cup of coffee. But Miss Meera Subramaniam, when you see pressure situations, the ball clipped directly to mid-wicket and grasped, what are your thoughts as a former international player?
You know, the first thing I would think was, why did she make that shot? Good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
Seeing the person right there in front of her, I don't know why she lifted the bat. And if you, I mean, technically I'm going a little bit. I saw that she just lifted her head up and she played the ball. And I don't think she should have done that, but you know, with pressure. That was a safe run. That could be a risky one as well. Yes, you know, she is always, Farah has always played a very precautious game, and to see her loft it like that, just directly to a player, I'm quite surprised as to how she did. This clearly shows that probably due to pressure, sometimes you tend to play erratic shots. That's my take, Brian. For this morning without coffee.
Well, your take, tremendous as it is one that we'll have to pay attention to, because if you had the players in the screen or on the screen right now under your tutelage,
Yeah.
particularly the batters,
Yeah.
what are you telling them? You're chasing less than a run a ball. You have a chance to be in the finals. What are your words to them?
I said stick on, play your shots, don't get too worked up about how much you're getting, since the chase is very little and it's an easy win, so they should not be even trying to do something drastic.
So you're not doing anything drastic, but you're also in a position where you're thinking of the conditions, you're thinking of everything that your coach told you. You're thinking, you know what, there's some talking in the field and you're hearing the chirping. How do you block all of that out and just stick to what you just said?
I think it's a concentration, and Farah has played numerous games, and this should be a part and parcel of it, because the opponents are always going to get excited, right? and because their vested interest is also to see how to get her out and to get her distracted. And with her experience and playing so many games, I think she can completely block all the things that she has around herself.
Now, the other side of the ledger is the bowling side. Started out well, but in this over already 5 wides. How do you block out the situation and just be able to stick to the line and length that you know you need to bowl?
So honestly, I'm not aware of how many bowlers are there who are, I would definitely bring in a seam bowler, but at the same time an experienced one or a person whom they can rely on where accuracy is the key to get the person out. So it's just playing on the wickets, not giving runs, and curtailing those runs is what they should be focusing on, not trying out players who have experience but not as much as some of the seasoned ones who know how to play turf and who know how to pitch and have a strategy as they are bowling. And of course the captaincy also plays a very, very important part as to how the directions are given, if it's followed well. Again,
You can lead a horse to the water, etc.
that's true. Yes.
Well, that is the end of the over. Over number 5, 23 for 2. In 10 overs, you need 55 runs. You and I both can do that math. 5.5 and over is what you need.
Is it, Brian? I haven't had coffee, remember?
5.5 and over, my goodness.
Okay,
So,
Brian, I'll take that.
so that last over bowled by Dipanjali Pakala. So she is bowled out. She's bowled all 5. I think you'll see, he mentioned spin, and this has been now the 6th straight over of seam to open the innings. Good delivery, bang on the stumps. You don't want to use up all of your seam options early, or let me not state it definitively. Do you want to use up, since you've already taken a couple of quick wickets, do you want to keep your seam bowlers on, or at what point do you maybe hold a couple of overs back for the death?
I think I would keep a very strong spinner for the last 2, but then the rest I would go on, especially if the medium pacers are doing well on the stick. I don't see why not utilize them, because right now the aim should be to get as many wickets as possible, and if they are putting it on the wickets, nothing like it. I think now the aim should be to get as many wickets as they can by the pacers. So I would continue.
Sprays this one down the leg side though, so that does not help.
Yes. We just spoke about the pacers. Consistency. Did I jinx it?
I think you may have.
This is exactly why I don't keep paces for the end.
Exactly.
That, ladies and gentlemen, in case you did not hear, is a comment from, again, the most partisan person that you'll hear today, Ranjit Singh. That is a lovely shot. Opening the face, steering it clear of the gap, or in the gap between point and gully. You get a couple of runs. So, yes, you do have a situation where you've used the 2 primary pacers. They will have been bowled out after this over. Do you just go spin the rest of the way?
So, the experience...
Are we commentating?
Oh, I can join in.
Yes, absolutely. No, go on.
join
Let's
in.
hear it.
So I'm just trying to see what strategy they're having. And to me, they're keeping their experienced spin pacers for the end to handle the pressure, and have the less experienced one go up front. Because I think for the younger ones, they're pretty good, but the pressure can get on them. So I think that's the strategy they're adopting in this game, from the way I look at this.
So you're thinking of Adisha Dhingra or some young lady called Ritu Singh. Those are the ones that you think would be coming into bowl toward the death.
Ritvika Khari has bowled really good. She has 3 overs to bring in. That option they have. Then I think Ritu and Ritik are experienced ones. So they need 3 more overs to pick it out in between. And then that's what I think where their team strategy is going.
Well,
3 people sitting 3 different views.
I'm from the West Indies. Of course, I don't want the ball pace at the end. That is a dot ball that closes out over number 6. End of 6, the score is 29 for 2.
That's a very low number for this team. I was quite surprised actually when I walked in.
Which number? The first
The
inning
29.
score of 78, 77?
Yeah. Both, actually, both. Honestly.
Okay, so then that brings a question to you, Mrs. Mira Subramaniam. If the target were not 78 but 158, does that impact how aggressively the batters at the top of the order go?
Absolutely, 100%.
So then is there a lesson there that regardless of what the target is, you should just play your natural game and put the runs on the board?
Remember, Brian, I started off saying they should play natural, not to worry about what the runs are, but just to play their own game and get as much what they have to. You know, the first 10 overs is very crucial. And then for you to have the pressure to chase on to those is not the way to do it.
So we just called her name Ritu Singh into the attack from the northern end off spinner. First over of spin being bowled for the day. Ritu Singh, national team player. 9 overs in the tournament, 3 for 42 are her figures, an average of 14. But importantly, an economy rate of 4.6. So you'll take an economy rate of 4.6 if you're chasing 5+. In the meantime, there's a single, top ball, and then a single. So we'll see exactly how well, how well Ritu Singh can do here. Overall required rate as of this stage is now 5.54. They're scoring at the rate of 4.74. So choosing to take the, let's call it the conservative route. And now the tee or the field is all the way in, trying to tempt her to hit over the top. Ooh, a bit of turn that time from Ritu Singh, but leaves it too far outside the line of off stump. That is the first wide that she has bowled. And again, the field is in, mid-on and mid-off inside the circle. In fact, there is no real mid-off. There is a wide extra cover and then a big gap around Tadisha Dhingra at mid-on, but a huge gap, probably about a 65-degree gap in that area. A lot of room for her to aim. Oh, that stays low. Does well to keep it out. Turnham Chopra. I'm sorry, Saeed Magula. Down to the last 2 balls here. Over number 7. First one being bowled by Ritu Singh. In the air, can Disha Dhingra get there? Oh, she chooses instead to be defensive. Hits the stumps for good measure at the non-strikers end. You wonder whether or not she had laid out completely for that. Whether or not she could have gotten there. I would suspect that Ritu Singh would have wanted her to probably give a bit more of an effort to lay out and get that one. In any event, this is the last ball coming up here in over number 7, and importantly, it's Turnham Chopra who's back on strike. And so you do see mid-on drop back to long on. In addition, the deep mid-wicket and the deep square leg. So much more defensive feel for Turnham Chopra. A feel for a catch and gone. How big a wicket is that one? Oh my goodness. Kisses the outside edge into the keeper's gloves. Turnham Chopra, the leading batter in the side, has been dismissed, and the DC Titans are 32 for 3. Oh, game on here. 32 for 3 is your score. Tarnam Chopra, the leading batter in the side, has been dismissed. Bring Ritu Singh in at the perfect time to be able to take a wicket, and that dismissal opens things up tremendously here for the Atlanta War Eagles. Brinda Raghavan is your new batter. She'll be at the non-striker's end because that wicket fell on the last ball of over number 7. And it's now going to be a change in bowling. By definition, it has to be a change in bowling because you do not have the ability to bowl more than 3 overs in this shortened game, 15-over match. Going down the leg side for this first ball, so she'll have to re-bowl that one. This is going to be new bowler operating from the southern end. I believe this is Ashika Chiranatha Gandla. Chiratana Gandla. Aisha will say this eventually. Oh, Ashika. I'll eventually get your name right. That time I messed up both of your names. I'm sorry. But in any event, starting out well here, despite the wide, wanting to induce that outside edge. Not exactly able to get it, but the ball is in the right area outside the line of off stump, and that's what you want to see. Oh, and they've jinxed her again because now this is another wide. Wanting to make sure that you don't give away any free runs. As of right now, just 44 runs to play with. 44 needed in the next 47 balls. So that required rate is sneaking upward. Ooh, just bouncing over the top of that attempted cut. So a couple of wides and a couple of dots is what you've had so far. Into the 8th over, so into the outside edge found, goes past the keeper. It's a thick outside edge, so can't really be considered a drop, but it's certainly off the edge. Good piece of fielding from Dipanjali Pakala to run that one down. 2 more make that, 2 runs coming, but that is a huge, can't really call it a miss because again, it was such a thick edge, and with the keeper standing up, there's no way that she realistically could have gotten to that. But my goodness, you would have wanted that one to have been in the gloves if you were the Atlanta War Eagles. Beautiful catch. Enthusiastic appeal that time, but umpire Irfan Syed is unmoved. Ashika Chiratana Gandla is the bowler who is in the middle of her first over and doing well. Found the edge once and a couple of good balls outside the line of off stump. This is in the covers. Single fumbled by the fielder in the covers. That is the captain, Habib Batter. You'd like to think that these nerves will not play a part, but we all know that they do. 2 balls remaining here in over number 8. Took a water break at the same stage in the earlier innings. Don't know whether or not they'll do that here, but wait and see what they do. Still 41 runs away from victory here. And that's going to be a wide again. That does not help your cause. See what happens on this last ball, but already a number of wides in this over. 3 of them. Even though she's only conceded 6 runs, 3 off the bat, 2 of them an outside edge. You want to make sure that you get the ball in the right areas, like that. That's a dot ball that closes things out in over number 8. 38 for 3 is your score.
How do you think that was going to score?
Anjit. 8 overs in the books, 38 for 3 is your score, no break. We'll go all the way through. The DC Titans wobbling tremendously, but you would think it's still their game to lose. 38 runs on the board. You need another 40 runs. You're 49% of the way toward the target. You are past the halfway stage in terms of overs, so you are now needing to score just under a run a ball. 40 runs needed in the next 42 balls. And in fact, they are going to take a quick water break. I suggested earlier that they might. It was a bit of a delayed break, but it looks like they're about to do that now. So we will also go silent here for the moment while the players refresh themselves, coming back in the next couple of minutes to see whether or not they can chase 42 runs or 40 runs in the next 42 balls, the DC Titans. We'll be right back. Ritu Singh is in the field, and this is going to be Ayushi Singh, who continues the bowling. Very last 42 deliveries, make that 41 after that single. Will be bowled here. You suspect that they are holding back Ritu Singh for possibly overs 12 and 14 is what I would think. Ayushi Singh. This is a dot outside the line of off stump, not able to get anything on it. So pressure certainly going to start building now. Zahida Magula, 11 from 18. Brenda Raghavan has yet to score from the one ball that she's faced. Tossed up, huge swipe and a miss. 2 straight dots. That does cause some pressure to build. Talked about Ayushi Singh earlier. One of the better bowlers in the side. Taken 3 wickets in the tournament so far. Struck in the air just out of reach of the captain, Habiba Badr. And a couple of runs. They do get those 2 runs. And I'll tell you what, that was struck firmly, but in the air for a while. It might have just been out of the reach of Habiba Badr. Not able to get anything close to it in terms of a catching opportunity, but that would be something that would have concerned the batting side, because you certainly don't want to lose another wicket here. Next delivery goes past the outside edge yet again. She's done that a number of times now. This should be the last ball of over number 9. 3 runs coming from it already. Let's see exactly what we can get here. Goes wide of the crease. And this is going to be a single to mid-on. Ritu Singh with a direct hit at the non-striker's end, at the national team player that you expect for her, or that she is and that you expect from her. Single that closes out this over. I believe that is the last ball of the over. At the end of 9, the score is 42 for 3. For 3, and you are now exactly at the point where you need to run a ball. It had been more balls remaining than runs to get for the majority of this innings, but you are now at the stage where you have to score and run a ball. So of course any dot balls mixed in there will put you in the position of needing more than a run a ball, and mentally, just psychologically, that becomes a more difficult chase. Particularly since you're talking about being in a semi-final match with a chance to go through to the finals later on this afternoon. And this is now going to be a change in bowling from the southern end of the ground. Still awaiting the identification of this bowler. And in fact, this last over was bowled by Ayush Singh. The scorecard says Ritu Singh, so we may have to get that corrected. In the meantime, it's going to be Ritvika Kari into the attack. Wide balls, so the wides will certainly hurt you, if for no other reason than the fact that it does bring you less than a run of ball the rest of the way. Ritvika Kari tossed up, dragged into the leg side. That is mid-on, who is able to, she fumbles it, but doesn't lose the opportunity to get a run there. Ritvika Kari, second leading bowler in the team for this tournament. 37 runs conceded, 3 wickets taken, highest number of dot balls, which is important. You want to be able to prevent the other team from scoring. Economy rate is miserly and the best in the side, 2.85, and an average of 12.3. And I guess the 12.3 average is excellent, but the bigger number there for me is the 2.85 economy rate. Needing to score at a run a ball from here. And if you go at a run a ball, you win this game. But if you have a bowler who's bowling an economy or with an economy rate of 2.85, then there is difficulty. And look at that, a run out at the non-striker's end. Pressure was building. They went for a single. The ball was struck directly to mid-off. Don't know that there was a single there, and it really was an underhanded throw, not the strongest of throws, but still in time to run out the batter coming in at non-striker's end. So that is wicket number 4. All of a sudden, maybe nervousness, maybe good fielding, but that is wicket number 4 and the second run out in this innings to go with 3 run-outs from the first innings. So that's the point I made earlier, that there might just be some nervousness from these players. But for me, that's not a single. If you hit the ball directly to mid-off, who is certainly in from the circle is 23 yards away from the non-striker's end. They're a fair distance in from the circle, so that does not feel like an opportunity for a run for me. But none of that matters now. The only thing that matters is now you're down to the fourth or to 44 runs and needing another 34, but you're running out of opportunities here. And my sense is that you're going to have to be very careful. 9.3 overs have been bowled, so you're down to the last 33 balls of the innings. The new batter is in, as that was a dismissal, and now back to Rithvik Akari in the air to the left of mid-wicket and running toward the boundary. A couple of runs can get there easily here. So with 2 balls remaining in over number 10, you're at the point where you need 32 and you need them in 32 balls. So back to a run a ball the rest of the way. How do you build pressure? You can certainly build pressure by using the bowler that you're using now, Rithvik Akari. Their economy rate is 2.85. That is outside the line of off stump and another wide. So that becomes difficult to build pressure if you're giving away wides. That is wide number 14 on the day. Good delivery here. Played into the offside. Take off for single. Throw to the non-striker's end, or to the striker's end, and gone! You've got to be kidding! Oh my goodness! Yet another run out, the second run out in this over, and that is a body blow. 47 for 5 is your score with 1 ball remaining in over number 10, and the pressure is absolutely wearing down the DC Titans. New batter, same mode of dismissal. And the DC Titans are 47 for 5. The new batter is in. Score is 47 for 5. 1 ball remaining in over number 10. Rithvik Akari with the last ball of her first over. Tossed up. Excellent ball. Turned into the leg side. It's a single that closes out over number 10. But absolutely struggling here, the DC Titans. They need a run a ball the rest of the way. 30 from the last 30 balls. 48 for 5. Look what I just texted you. Look what I just texted you. Yeah. Last 5. Goes past the outside edge. This is Ayushi Singh's second over. You're down to the business end of this match. This is over number 11. Best spinner in the side. Probably a toss-up, as that's going to be a wide, no pun intended, between Ritvika Kari and Ritu Singh. Ritvika Kari has bowled 1 over, so she has 2 remaining, as has Ritu Singh. So after this over, which is over number 11, you could make the argument that you would close out the bowling with this pair. 2 at the same end. It's going to be another run out. Oh my goodness. 3 run outs. 3 run outs. Absolutely critical. You cannot do that. The pressure has absolutely mauled the Titans. And yet another mode of dismissal that they'll be embarrassed by. The DC Titans are 49 for 6.
1, 2, 3, Eagles!
So let's keep it down. On this one of these. Those 3 and this one. Wear this t-shirt. Wear this t-shirt. Where's my t-shirt? See how I remember things, what I need to.
So this is a tragedy, absolute tragedy for the DC Titans. Your 2 deliveries, 2 legal deliveries into over number 11. And you have spit the bit in a number of ways, because you're now looking at the bottom of the lineup due to some really shambolic running between the wickets. A dot is the 3rd delivery of over number 11, and you are now down to the last 3. The last 3 balls, that is, of over number 11. Still need 29 runs, so that required rate now up above 6. Tossed up and wide. That is the one thing that you can do to let the other team back into the game, is by bowling extras. And so Ayusha Singh will know that she'll need to keep this ball in the right areas, cannot bowl anything that wide, particularly since there is no coverage in the deep, no sweepers on the outside. And yet another wide, my goodness. So this may just be the case of irresistible force against the movable object. Somebody needs to take control of the proceedings and make sure that the basics are done right. Whether it be the batting team running between the wickets with purpose, not recklessly, or the bowling team not bowling in extras. That's a good delivery. In that area is where you want to be. So 2 balls remaining now over number 11. As I said earlier, I suspect that the last 4 overs will be bowled by Ritu Singh and Ritvika Kari. Statistically, for me, the best 2 spinners in the side, and that is just inside the wide line. Importantly, a dot, required rate 6.48. You need 27 in the next 25 balls. This is the last ball coming up here in over number 11. Skied over the top of mid-off, running back toward the boundary. It will be 2 runs, as it's a good run back for Darshna Karthik. She does it well enough to keep it from going. I may not have had the legs to go to the boundary anyway, but she does well enough to keep it down to 2 runs. 5 runs coming from the over, yet another run out though. And that is the end of over number 11. The score is 53 for 6.
क्या हाथ में डालना है क्या?
So, the batter is at the wicket. Lekka Shetty, vice captain, 2 from 4. And this is now going to be Ritvika Kari. Bowled over number 10. You'll see her here in action again. Economy rate of 2.85 for the tournament. Straight into the offside. You better believe they're not going to run for that. Don't need another run out. Swipe and a miss. Stumping! Oh my goodness! Wicket number 7. A swipe and a miss outside the line of off stump. Lekka Shetty has that front foot go, or back foot go too far outside. And a clean stumping there by Meghna Baisya. That is wicket number 7, and the DC Titans are collapsing in a heap. Wicket number 7, if you can believe it. So a couple of stumpings, 3 run-outs, and really just not the best of batting performances, really from either side. But having gotten to the point where you needed a rounder run a ball, you thought that you'd be able to get them down, but ladies and gentlemen, I have expertise all around me, and I really would like to have the opinion of the lady who's standing to my left. 25 runs, 3 wickets, 22 balls. What are you telling the people in the middle?
I think...
By the way, tell everybody who you are.
My name is Taranum Chopra, and I'm a top order batter and an off spinner. We finished our first innings, it was pretty good, but then we're having a collapse. It's 2 wickets left right now, and I think what we can do right now is just to stay on the pitch, just dig deep. That's it. That's all we need.
So I don't want to take you away from your team. And by the way, you failed to mention that you're also the team captain. But a runner ball, in theory, should not be that difficult. But a lot of difficulty running between the wickets. What do you attribute that to?
I agree. A lot of calls I feel like have been bad because of the pressure. That just chasing the runs. There is a pressure, but we also are capable. We've done this before. We did it yesterday. We should be able to do it. And it's just up to the batters who are left right now to do and finish the game.
Okay. Thank you for your thoughts. Remind me who you are.
I'm Ahika Mohan.
Ah, okay. So, tell me your thoughts about what you see in the middle, and what do your teammates need to do at the lower order to finish this game?
I think right now all they need to do is stay in, take quick singles but not risky ones, and just honestly just clear calling is all we need right now.
Clear calling is exactly what I would suggest. And the last thing I'll ask you is this. If you had a win predictor, okay, that might just answer the question.
But
your win predictor says what for you?
I thought this was a really winnable game actually. Like, Atlanta War Eagles is a really strong team, so getting them all out for 77 was actually really good from the bowling side.
I agree 100%.
Like, in our fielding, honestly, this game was just best for our fielding side. I think this
I agree with that 100%.
But I think this was just one of our biggest batting collapses. But I think just the pressure of run a ball and trying to I think it was just our batting collapse this time. But hopefully these two can bring it back. Maybe.
Hope springs eternal. Thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, 9 down. Ranjit Singh is trying not to smile. 53 for 9. I'm losing my voice. 53 for 9. The last pair is in with 2 balls remaining in over number 12. Oh my goodness. So 25 runs needed from the next 20 balls. It feels like it is out of reach for the lower order, and by the lower order I mean the last pair. But you do I did not manage that or didn't notice that in the middle of all these moving parts. Rithvika Kari has just had a hat trick. Oh, by the way, as if she wasn't the best bowler or the best spinner already, she had a hat trick, a stumping, LBW, and bowled. And there you go. Tremendous bowling. And here is the last ball of her over. Run out opportunity. Not the best of throws, but it doesn't matter. They get a single, and that is the end of over number 12. Tremendous effort by Rithvika Kari. I would suspect that it will be Ritu Singh who will bowl the next over. DC Titans in all sorts of trouble. 54 for 9. Ritu Singh it is, bowling from the northern end. Wave and a miss. You see a steady diet of Ritu Singh and Rithvika Kari the rest of the way, if there is a rest of the way, because this feels like, well, technically you're one delivery away from this game being finished. And Ritu Singh was only bowled one over so far. That over went for 3 runs and she took a wicket. And she's now going to be bowling over number 13. Does feel like this match is all but over. Quick single. Always hold your breath when they're running those quick singles. They've had 3 runouts in this inning so far. Want to make sure that you don't have that happen again, but then again at this stage you don't necessarily have a lot of choice in needing to push for singles. That's going to clear the infield, is it? Yep, over to the right of the field, running across from mid-on, and they'll get 2 runs. That is Ayushi Singh herself, who is running across from mid-on. I said mid-off, my apologies, I meant mid-on. So 2 runs is something that you'll certainly treasure at this stage, but 21 needed in the next 15 balls, so you're running out of time. Tossed up, stroked right through the covers and past Captain Habiba Bader. Should be 2 more runs. I think that's all they'll settle for. Good strong throw from the outfield too. So a couple of runs, that never is a bad thing. You're getting and picking up opportunities to score runs. Ritu Singh, 5 runs conceded in this, her second over. 2 balls remaining. 14 runs overall, 14 balls overall remaining for the entire innings. Played into the covers, no run. In fact, they do run for a single here. Run out opportunity, no. You hold your breath on every run because you've already had 3 runouts, but this time they make it to the other end without much fuss. This will be the last ball of over number 13. Coincidentally, 13 balls left in the innings, 18 runs needed. Oh, just goes past the outside edge. That is a dot to close out over number 13. 60 for 9 is your score. Last 2, you need 18. We can all do that math, 9 and over the rest of the way. Ritvika Kari to bowl the penultimate over of the innings, the all-important penultimate over of the innings, the leading bowler, leading spinner in the side. Let's see what she gets done here. Tossed up, stroked straight down to mid-off and taken. That is the end of the game. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Ritvika Kari. She has taken 4 wickets, and her efforts alone, 4 for 7. That feels like a player of the match performance to me. Going down in a heap here, the DC Titans and the Atlanta War Eagles win it by the margin of 17 runs. They had an absolutely undercooked total. 77 runs did not seem like anything that would challenge a team with a strong batting order, up top anyway, but they fall short by a huge margin. Only 2 players in double figures for the DC Titans. Taranam Chopra, 13 from 24 with 1 boundary. And if you can believe it, that 1 boundary was the only boundary struck the entire day for the DC Titans. And the only other player to join her in double figures was Sahiti Magula, 18 from 26. Everyone else, or the next highest score after that, was 4 runs from Brenda Raghavan. Everyone else either 1 or 2 or not. 18 runs were scored in extras, so this could have been a much bigger margin of victory. Chasing such a low total, that's actually a shocking statistic. But that is the end of the day. For the bowlers, oh my goodness, the best bowler by some distance, 2.1 overs, no maidens, 9 dot balls, 7 runs conceded, and 4 wickets taken. Ritvika Kari does it with the ball, and the Atlanta War Eagles take victory and place themselves in the final by the margin of 17 runs. So we suspect that there's going to be a rain shower that comes along sometime in the next few minutes, and hopefully after that we'll be able to get the finals underway. One of the teams in the finals will be the Atlanta War Eagles. We'll see who the second team is. We'll work those details out in due course, but for now we'll go silent from right here in the New York Oval for the National Women's Cricket League T20 New York Open 2025. See you later this afternoon.
understand, right? You should not abuse.
His point is correct. They do not want to take.
You don't abuse things, right? He bought balls for me.
Yeah.
Then to drop the balls, he's calling us like since like 30 minutes we didn't give a call.
It's only rain, I think.
Yeah.
This one,
As long as we have coverage, I think.
Sudhakar, I'll take it if you have other things. నేను తీసేస్తాలేండి పేరెంట్స్ పిలుస్తా మనోజ్ 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 They're coming. Govin!
Chalo.
No, they're coming. So, this one just pushed them.
Okay. And then unlock the right.
Yeah, just push it. అంతే కదా
It's in your glasses. Then, you just watch. 2 minutes you stand there. Look. Did you get any dewdrops on you?
मेरा भाई मेरा बहन आप खाना खिलवा दो ये तो नहीं खिलवाता गलत तो बड़े खाना नहीं कह जाती
All the girls are coming here. कर देते.
Pizza are ordered. Let me see. Domino's कितने दूर है यहाँ से?
इसको एक कवर कर देना.
अभी थोड़ी अभी बारिश आएगा ना?
5 minutes.
Chipotle will be very
Still
expensive
going?
for everyone, right? Pizza is easy to order.
Okay.
Still going?
I can turn it off. Sorry. Yeah, we can turn it off for now.
Okay.